Hello everyone. In this video we are going to learn about Firebase Storage Service. Firebase Storage Service is used to store the contents like photos and videos. Uh, it's like a bucket, not a normal bucket, but a storage bucket in the sense of cloud computing. In this video we are going to develop an app. Through this app, user can store his or her photos into Firebase Storage Service. Let's get started. The steps in this video are: first we are going to create an XML file with two buttons, choose file button and upload button, along with an image view. The second step is connecting our app to Firebase, and third step is pushing the data into Firebase Storage Service. It's not necessary, it's not required to connect your app every time. If you connect your app once to Firebase, it is enough to use every service in the Firebase. Okay, and the third step is the pushing the data. Okay, now let's get started with the Android Studio. Open your Android Studio and create one project. I already done that. I already created one project with the name Firebase Storage 2. You can create the new project from here, files, new project, and click on select an empty activity and click on finish. In this app I'm going to use relative layout. If you want to know about relative layout and image view and buttons, you can watch our Umang Solutions YouTube channel. You can watch the previous videos in that channel. We already done that. We already discussed about relative layouts and the views, button views, text view, button text view, image views, all that. So I'm using relative layout, and first I'm going to create a button, wrap content, and I'm giving one ID to that ID. Through this button, user can choose the files in his phone, and giving the background as color primary, and I'm giving the text as and giving the text color as white, and this is, let's give it as a choose file. Yeah, now keep it in the center here, center top. To do that, we have a attribute called center horizontal. Keep it as a true. Automatically it will go to the center top to the layout, relative layout, and that's it. We are done with first button. And now create a progress bar. Okay, now just create an image view first. Image view, match parent, and below. What this layout below attribute is, we are saying to the XML file that keep this image view below another view. Let's get finish this line, and I will explain you about this line. See, I am saying to XML that keep this image view below this button view, this ID. See, whose ID? This one. This is whose ID? Button view ID. See, here I declared, I assign choose as a ID to button. So I am saying to the XML that keep this image view below this ID. Okay, see, now image view is below button view. Now I am creating a progress bar. We are going to we can find the use of progress bar later in this video. No problem. Just create a progress bar with width as a match parent and height as a wrap content, and it should be the margin bottom should be what, 16 dp, and that is it. We are done with the progress bar, and this should be below the image view. The progress bar should be below the image view. So what you can give, you can give the below, or you can, let's wait for another button, let's create another button. And this image view should be above the progress bar. We can also give that, above, this image view should be above the progress bar. I am assigning id to progress bar. See, I am saying that, I am saying to XML file that this image view should be above the progress bar. Let's create another button. After that we can align every view as per our request, as per our view button, and give the width as a match parent, and this is a wrap content, and button wrap content, and give the id upload, and we can say that this progress bar should be above this button. So we have to give the attribute here, above, layout above, what, id upload. See, yeah, now the progress bar, and it is finished. Upload progress bar, and this button, image view, yeah, it's fine. Image view above and below the choose, above and below the choose button, and the progress bar should be, let's give the margin bottom, yeah, it's finished, and keep the visibility as gone. Visibility has gone, and the button, it's finished. Align parent bottom true, See, now everyone is aligned. And let's take this line and see, it is somewhat odd, very odd, very ugly and blunt. When we keep this, we are saying in the XML file that this button should be aligned to parent bottom, this is the parent button, this should be aligned to this parent bottom. Okay, yeah. Now give the background to this color primary dark, and give the text as upload, and give the color to the text as the white, and gives the text size should be 16 dp. Yeah, it's 16 dp. And that's it, we are done with the button. One image view, one choose, and give some padding. See, when I am giving this padding, you can see the effects in this layout. Watch carefully. Padding 16 dp. See, here you can see in this view you can see the effect of padding. See, I am giving padding 16 dp. Yeah, see, we got an 16 dp space around the every view. We got 16 dp around every view, and give some padding to every view, so that we can have some space, and give the padding as some 3 dp. Okay, let's give not padding, let's give some margin bottom, some 203 4. Okay, 5 dp is enough, and give the same margin bottom to the image view and to the progress bar. Okay, it's already have some margin bottom. And for the button, we want margin top as 5 dp. It's nothing. See, when I'm giving margin top 5 dp, it is giving some space between image view and button view. Margin top to the button, the margin of the top. Say I'm giving to the button we are giving, for the button we are giving layout margin top. When we are giving layout margin top 5 dp, it will give some space between image view and button view. Okay, when we are giving margin bottom to this choose button, it will give some space between image view and this button view, in image view and this button view. And that is it, we are done with the XML file. Now we have everything: one image view, one button, two buttons. Now we just completed our first step. This is completed, and now we are going to connecting our app to Firebase. I already said to you that if you it is not necessary, it is not required to connect your app every time. If you connect your app once to Firebase, it is enough to use every services in the Firebase. So first of all, let's go to the Firebase. First of all, go to the Firebase and create one project. Add new project to your Firebase. That is Firebase storage. Firebase storage is enough. And click on your 3 projects away from the project limit. Yeah, Firebase has some limit. You can create some limited projects only. So I have only three projects away. So when I created this, I have only 2 projects away to that limit. Yeah, now continue. Enable Google Analytics for this project and continue. I am doing somewhat fast this connection because we are discussed about this connection in the previous videos. You can watch those previous videos if you want an in-depth knowledge in this connection. So I'm doing it without explanation. Create your project. The Firebase is creating your project. See, Firebase is very interesting. Learn this Firebase. You can build your own apps. You can have your own server. Okay, now the project is completed. Yeah, it is showing our project admin panel. This is our admin panel. So now we have to click this Android button, Android image. Now I am giving the package name. Nickname, give some nickname. Gradle, go to app, go to tasks, go to Android, go to sign in reports. Through this we can get the SHA1 key. We can get SHA1 key. Yeah, the build is finished. Now copy this, paste it here, register app. And now download the JSON file. Save file. Now go to the files, go to downloads, copy this JSON file or cut this JSON file, go to your app, go to project level, go to your app and paste it here. It should not contain these things. I just remove them, click on OK. Now it's finished, it is pasted, and click on next here. Go to the Android SDKs, copy this class path. Now I'm going to the Android structure, Android level. part. Our app, the project is syncing. Wait until the sync process is finished. After that we can go to the coding part like Java file. Okay, now sync again. If you want to learn more about this connecting, you can just go through our previous videos in our Umang Solution YouTube channel. Meanwhile, we can just click on next, and now it is communicating our app, but this step is not required. You can just skip this step and go to the storage. We are already done with this authentication and database in our previous videos. You can also watch these things. Okay, now click on get started, click on next, click on done. It's just creating our bucket. Let's see our Android project, whether the sync process is completed or not. Yes, the sync process is completed. We can minimize this one, and now go to the main activity. Yeah, here we are going to code our app. This is the backend. Enable the Firebase, go to tools and click on Firebase. Now the Firebase assistant is loading. Meanwhile, yeah, see, now this is our storage service. This is the bucket we have. Now this is the empty bucket we have. We are going to push some photos and folders into this bucket later in this video. Now go to the rules and change the rules. What the rules are, initially the rules are not granted for anything, for pushing or retrieval. So now we have to grant the permission. Right, if we just granted our permission, publish the rules. Yeah, the rules are published. Now, yeah, now at this point of time we are done with the Firebase storage service. Now we have to go to Android. Yeah, the Firebase assistant is enabled. Now let's go to the storage service. Yeah, here we have storage service. Click on that and see, our app is already connected, so we can just add the cloud storage to our app. Now click on this button, accept the changes, minimize this assistant, and now it will add some dependencies to our Gradle file. See, yeah, this is the Gradle file. It just added the C storage services. Copy that, paste here and give the comment. We are done with everything. Our app is now connected to Firebase and its storage service. Now let's rock with our coding part. In our XML file we have 2 buttons and 1 progress bar and 1 image. Let's bind them to this activity, to this Java file. First we have to give the buttons. What are the buttons? Choose button and upload button. Now let's give the one variable to progress bar. We can give the progress bar yeah, it's and give some image view we are done with this, and we want some we have to in Java we have one class called URI. See, capital U and small r and I. what this class is used to retrieve our images. This image view is image view and URI are completely different. This image view, what it will do is it will just show the images to user. That is why it is called image view. Every view is used to show the content, so the just show the content to the user. But to get that content we have to do something. For images we have URI. What URI class will do is it will just it will get the things from files, or it will get the images, it will get the image data, it will store the image data itself. Then we are going to assign this data to image views to show the content, to show that image to users. See, I will explain again. Through this URI class we are just getting the data, image data. We are storing that image data into this image variable, into this URI variable, and then we are going to set this data to the image view, Don't panic, I will just show you in the while I am coding. Just assign this URI variable, and next we want to add some storage reference. Firebase allows us the packages. Already the assistant added some dependencies. To the dependencies we are calling the storage services. Storage reference. Yeah, storage reference, and I am giving the variable storage. Now, yeah, we are done with everything. Just bind the buttons and image view and the progress bar. Now give the choose find view by id dot id dot and bind the another button upload find view by id dot id dot upload. If you want to know about these steps, you can watch our previous videos. We are already discussed about this binding and everything. I can't explain right now in this video. The ID I have given. Okay, I didn't assign any ID to this. The image view. Yeah, we are done with this, and we have to bind the progress bar. I will tell you why we are using this progress bar later in this video. Don't panic. Yeah, now we are done with the binding. Now we have to give some actions to these buttons. Whenever the user click on these buttons, choose button or upload button, we have to generate some action, we have to do some action. So for this I am giving on click listeners. Also we discussed this thing also we are done in previous videos. This thing also we are done in previous videos. You can watch them. I am not going to explain here. Please watch them. Those are the basic videos. And next, yeah, we are now saying to Java that whenever the user clicks on this choose button, you have to implement this set on click listener. Now whenever the users click on this button, we have to open the files in our mobile. We have to open the files in the mobile. So I am implementing a method, open file method. Just implement this one. Create a method open file. This is the main activity method. Now what we have to do is we have to allow this app to get the content of our file manager. So what I am going to do is just creating an intent equal to new intent. So this intent is used to move from one activity to another activity. This is used to move from one activity to another activity. Let me give an example. Like in your house you have two rooms. If you want to move from one room to another room, you use your legs to move. In Android Studio, it uses intent for that. For moving one place to another place, it uses intent. Now uh, we have to give some type. We have to say we have to give some type to the Java. uh, Let me give that. I will explain you while I am typing. Set type. Now we are saying to Java this is a type of intent that only chooses the image, that only get the image data. Here I am giving that intent set type images slash hashtag. Like we are saying to the Java that this is intent is a type of intent that only gets the images from the file manager. Okay, we are just saying the type of the intent to the Java. Now what we have to do is uh, we have to give some action. We just given the type of the intent. Now we have to give the action to that intent. We are saying the Java, this is the type of intent image, it will do some action. We are now declaring that action to the Java. Set action intent dot action get content. Yeah, now through this statement we are saying to Java that this is an intent that do an action, like it will get the content. This is the action of this intent. It will get the content. What content? Image content, because it is a type of image intent, so it will only get the content as images. Now we are done with everything. We have to just start this intent. Start intent results. Start activity for results. We are going to start this intent, right? Intent. Now see, through this Java code we are saying that start an activity for result. We are saying to Java this intent is finished, everything is finished in this restatement, but you have to start the intent. For that we are using this method, start activity for result. We are starting an activity. What activity? Which activity? Opening file. This is an activity. Everything in Java, everything in an Android is an activity. Opening a file manager, this is an activity. Now we are saying to Java start an activity for result. What type of activity? This intent type of activity. And what is the request code? Request code is 1. I will tell you the use of this request code, but don't assign with the 1. Let do one thing. Just store this one variable into a constant, but because we the constants in the Java that they never change, you can't change those constants in the Java. In every programming language there is a type called constant variables. You can't change them. Let me create one constant variable to this one, to store this one. I will explain you what is the use of that one, like private final int what we have to do, pick camera. Let me give that as a pick camera. So choose all capital letters. So this is the professional way. All constants should be declared with constant with the capital letters. We have to choose a variable that variable should be in capital letters. That is the way of representing that this is a constant variable. Whenever we use this pick camera in our code, if it is in the capital letter, we can say that this is a constant variable. We can't that is not required to go top of the program and whether see that this is the constant variable or not. That is not necessary. We can just give the variables with the capital letter and just keep here, give that capital letter here, that variable here, pick camera. I will tell you in which way it is going to help. Don't panic. Yeah, Now let's take the previous example that in our house we have two rooms. One room is the kitchen room, another room is the studying room. When you are moving from kitchen room to study room or your living room, there are many actions you can do. You can sleep, you can study, you can watch. So these are the actions. Sleeping is one action, studying is the one action, and watching TV is one action. So in Java also, like that only, we just declared an action. We just declared an activity for result. See here we just started an activity for the result, but from where we are getting this result? We are just saying that Java this activity is getting a result. From where it is getting the result? Okay, move to this example. You just go move to this example. And coming to this example, you are just you just move to your living room. You just doing some action. Through that action only you will get the result. For that Java we have a method. We just declared an action for result. To get this result we have an override method. We are going to use one override method. To get these override methods, click Control O and search for activity for result. Activity on activity, sorry, on activity see here we got on activity for result. Select that one and click on enter. See, we are saying to the Java that this is we are declaring an intent. Java, we are saying to Java that we are declaring an intent. This is an image type and it will only get the content from that image. And we just in this fourth line we are just declare the start activity for the result. To get this result we are using this method, this override method. Through this method we are going to say we are going to say to Java that someone is coming to this room, someone is asking for a result. So Java, please give those results using this method. Java will give the results using this method. I will explain you clearly with one statement. Let me write one statement. What we have to do is, if let me think, how can I explain you that? Yeah, if request code is equal to pick camera and result code is equal to result. Okay, don't panic, I will explain you this. And data is not equal to null, and data dot get data not equal to null. See, I already said that if any intent is if any intent is declared for any result. See, this intent is declared. This intent is for a result called image. It has to get an image as a result. So Java will give those results using this activity, on activity result. It will give the result for every activity through this method. But what is the connection between this method and this method? How it will know that this intent? How it will know that for this intent you have to give this data? How this Java will know? So that's why we are using this if condition. We are saying that so many intents are coming to the living room. So many intents are coming to the living room. So when these intents are coming, we have to we are saying to Java giving a parameter called request code. If the request code of that intent is pick camera, like see we have given this pick camera. Now we are going to use this pick camera. So what is the value of pick camera is 1. So whenever the intent come to this room, if the request code of that intent is pick camera, you have to give the images to that intent. So that's why we are saying, so for suppose you have another start activity, another intent, you just declared the another intent. Same with these steps, you just declare another intent. The request code is 2. For suppose think that the request code is 2, you can the type of the intent is some videos. The type of the intent is videos. So you have to again write one if condition that the request code is, if the request code is 2. So this is the way to give the data to those intents. Okay, this is the way. You have to just, this is the link, this if condition is the link. If the request code is pic camera, you have to allow the intent to get the data. Okay, now I think everything is clear in this code. Now we have to get the data. I already said that we are going to store the image data into the URI class. We can't store that image data in image view. It is just for only showing the images. Now what we have to do, data dot get data, and we are going to set this image view to, see, I am setting image URI. So I am getting the data to this URI variable. I am setting this data to image view. Okay, I am only setting image view is used for only showing the images, nothing is there. Now we can get the files. See, everything is file. When the user choose the choose button, we can get the image file. Let me run this app, I will show you the result. Meanwhile, I have to create one meeting. I will just share my screen using this Google Meeting. Yeah, nothing is there here. I think everyone will get confused here. We are just passing an intent. This we are using this intent for an result. We want one result. So Java will give the results for these intents through this onActivity result method. So here through this if condition we can link this intent to this method. So we are just saying that if the request code of any intent is pic camera, now we have to give only data like image data. Okay, everyone is fine, I think. Let's allow join now. I will just share my screen whenever the build is finished. I think build is going on. Yeah, build is going on, I think. Yeah, here the build is going on. Yeah, the build is finished. I am sharing my screen. Wait a second. Yeah, just join the meeting. See, here I will share my screen. See, yeah, this is my mobile. Just go to Firebase. What is the app name? Click the app name here. Yeah, Firebase storage. Yeah, see, this is the choose button. This is the choose button we have, and the down one is an upload button. Let me click on this choose button. See, it is redirected to our file manager. It is redirected to our file manager. See, it is redirected to our file manager. Okay, now just we can see, click on an image. Click on image like, yeah, this is my puppy. Yeah, see, it is just set to image view. This is the image view we are using. It is just set. Again, when I click into choose button, again it will redirect to that and select an image. See, now again it will use the image view to show the images to the user. So we are done with the choose file. Now we have to use the upload button. Now let's go to upload button. We are now done with everything with the choose button. Now go to the upload button. Yeah, this is the upload button. We have to give the action to that upload button. Upload dot set on click listener. Yeah, what we have to do, upload the files. Implement this method, create method. Yeah, let's go to the down for understanding purpose. Now the everything is fine. We are getting the data to URI, and now we are going to do to upload an image. The Java has to know the type of the image, whether it is the JPG or whether it is the PNG. Okay, the uh, Java won't allow you without that. You have to give the type of that image. Without that you can't store the images, because if you won't give the type of that image, just you are getting the data to URI. So uh, you choose the file called JPG, but when Java don't know that, it just store the pixels into that URI according to the type. Uh, it will rearrange those pixels. Think like that. If you won't give the type of that file, it will just store the pixels and it will show you an image, and the app will crash. Okay, Java has to know the type of the image. Through that type only it will arrange those data according to the type. Okay, now we have to get the type of the file. For that we can have a function. We just create a function called get the file type. It is a string type function. Just private or public, anything, public string and what we have to pass to this method, we have to pass the data. Through that data only we can get the type. Already we have some pixels. Through that pixels only it can get the type of the file. URI. Don't bother about this function. I'm not going to explain this function. You can search it in the internet. It is very easy. So just assume that it will return the type of the file, type of the photo type of the photo. Returns type of photo like JPJ, so I'm just writing the method. You can just search in the internet. Content resolver equal to get content resolver. This is the 3 lines of code. Don't worry. See, this method is very important. I will explain you this method. Wait a second. Yeah. So in this, what we are returning the extension from the this URI data. Okay, what we are saying that get the extension from this URI data, from this type URI. Okay, now it will returns the type of the image. This is the just remember that this is it will only returns the type of the file. That's it. If you want to know deep, you can just Google it, no problem. You can get the data, use data. Now yes, from while doing upload action, while we are doing the upload, we just want the photo data, where we are storing that photo data in the URI. Now we have to check that URI. If it is null, we have to restrict the user, that you have to give some data. Without that data we can't upload. So for that, just create an if statement. If URI is not equal to null only, we have to upload that file. We have to upload the file. How we can upload the file? First we have to assign a storage reference. We have to create a storage reference variable like file. In this file we are storing the name of the file. Okay, we are storing the name of the file. In this file we are storing name with the data also. Name with the data also. We are storing the file with and we are saying that Java, that in this storage file, we are going to storing some data into this file. What data? What type of data? Like the image name in the Firebase storage. Here in which folder it has to store this data, we are going to store in the file variable. Don't panic, I will explain you. Just get the storage reference. This is the storage we just declared here. Where, yeah, here. But we are not doing anything. We are not going to use the store variable with empty variable. It's just referencing to this class, but we have to instantiate that, like store equal to Firebase storage dot get instance dot get reference of like my photos. I will explain you this. So we are just assigning this store variable to this storage reference class. Now what we have to do is, for this type of variable, which type? Storage type reference variable, we have to, through this class only we can get the reference to this Firebase storage. Which one? See, this one. This is the storage, this is the bucket. To get the reference to this bucket, we are saying that Java, through this statement, get the reference of that storage bucket. So to get the reference of that bucket, so we are saying that Firebase storage that get instance is nothing but at that point of time, at some point of time, at that time you have to get the reference. See, here we are saying that get the reference. Here we are saying get the reference. Yeah, get the reference to what? To my photos. You are saying the Java that get reference of the my photos, but we have no my photo folder here. But how can Java can get that my photos folder? Here we have empty, we have no files here, but how can it reference to my photos? How can it reference to this my photos folder? everything in this bucket is folder or files. Okay, we have to get, we are already getting the reference to this bucket, but we are also saying that Java we have to get the reference of this my photos also. But how can it will get? Here the thing, if the my photos is doesn't exist in that bucket, it will create automatically, it will create my photos folder. I will show you when we are pushing the data. So let's assume that it is getting a reference to my photos folder, and now we have to use this storage file where it is referencing. The storage file is now referencing to my photos. Now storage dot child, storage dot child. Now we have to store the image. This is the important thing. We have to store the images with the unique names. You have to store the images with the unique names. If you won't do that, if you upload two photos which are with the same name, for name of those photos are same. If you store first image with the name of Santosh, if you store another photo with the same name, it will replace the previous photo. So in order to avoid those things, we have to store the images with unique names. That's it. To to get these unique names, we are going to use the date. We are going to save the images with the name of the date and the time and the seconds. For every second it will change, it will automatically change the name of the file. So in the Java we have a class called date, day equal to new day. What it will give? It will give the date, time with seconds and hours. So the file name we are storing is unique. Now what we have to give? Day plus, this is the name of the file. Now we have to give the extension. Before that extension, for every file we have the dot extension. What we have to give? Now we have to get the type of the file. What is the type of the file? Now we are going to use this method. I am using that method. See, file type. What is the data we are going to give? URI. Now it is finished. See, if URI is not null, we are doing this statement saying that we are storing some data to this file. Okay, we are storing the data to this file. Now we have to push this data. We are just storing data into the file type storage reference. We have to push this data. To do that, what we have to do is file dot put file URI. So what we are doing this in this file, we have something called the name, and we are saying that it has to show in this folder and this folder, and the name of the file is this. We are just storing that data. We are not storing the image data. To store that image data, we use this statement, file dot put file URI. Now this file contains the photo. So to know that whether the photo is successfully stored in the storage service, or whether it failed, or whether it is in progressing state, it is going to upload. How can we know that whether it is successful or failure, or it is in progress? So in Java we have add listeners. We have listeners, success listeners. What it will do, if the image is uploaded successfully, then that data will get to this success listener. Then we can use this success listener to give a message to the users like the image is uploaded successfully into your storage. So to add that, add success listener. See, add success listener. Nothing you have to code. Java will automatically suggest you. That is the thing about the Android Studio. Now what we have to do on success listener. See, now in this success listener we have to give the toast message that that the file is uploaded successfully, and we have another method, what, on failure listener. We have to give like this. why this is error is coming, we have to actually put the semicolon, but we want add failure listener, add failure listener, new on failure listener. On failure, if the photo is not uploaded successfully, we have to give some message to the user. And we have another listen, add progress listener, or progress listener. Yeah, now we are keeping semicolon. Every listener we are just imported here. Now if the image is let's first start with the progress. When the image is uploading, it is still uploading, we have to give message to the user that it is still uploading, it is still uploading, it is still uploading. We have to give something to the user to know that image is uploading. For this we are going to use the progress bar. Here we are giving the progress bar dot set visibility view dot visible. Here the progress bar should be visible. In XML file we are just saying that visibility should be gone, it should not be visible in the XML file for every time. We just wanted to visible the progress bar when the image is uploading. When the image is still uploading, we are going to use this progress bar. Then only we are showing that user that when the progress bar is rotating, then a user can know that the image is still uploading. This is the message we are going to give here. Okay, when coming to the on failure listener, we have to give some message to the user that image is not uploaded successfully. For this messages in Java we have the method called toast. In here we can give. So we are already we are done with this toast message in the previous videos. You can watch those previous videos to learn about what is the toast and how we are going to use that. So I am just writing here, you can watch the videos, that I am giving the message that upload failed. When the image is uploaded, here we have two conditions. We have to give the message, and here when the image is uploaded there is no need of progress bar to rotate. So we have to put the visibility as the gone. It should not be required. When the image is uploaded, then what is the use of progress bar rotating? So we have to give the visibility as a gone. View dot gone. Now we have to give some toast message that image is uploaded successfully. Image is uploaded. Now here we have another problem, that whenever the progress bar here when the Vmoj is uploading, it will visible, it is perfect. Here in this we are giving the message to that user that when the progress bar is rotating, user can imagine that the file is uploading. But whenever the image is uploaded, we are just saying that it is just gone, suddenly it will gone. That should not be right now. We have to give some time. To give that time, we have handlers. You can learn that your own. I am not spoon feeding you everything. Use this handler method, know about this handler method, and give some time to the progress bar to gone. Okay, if you won't do that, I will also explain in the next video, not in this video. We have to just show the effect. We are going to see the effect, what the effect is going on when the progress bar like this. We are not giving some delay time to that. Okay, now let's run the application. We are ready to push the images to our database, to our storage services. Now just run the file. The Gradle build is in process. See, in the meanwhile we can watch this thing and this thing. Where is my Google Meet? Yeah, here it is, this one. Yeah, now what we have to do is, yeah, just minimize this. Yeah, this is my phone, and now see, this is my phone and this is the app. The app is built successfully. Choose one file, like and choosing this file and just upload it. See, the progress bar is rotating. That means the image is still uploading. See, the progress bar is just gone. See, that is not right. We have to give some time, delay time. Okay, the effect is this effect we are going to see in the next video. Then only you can think what is wrong here. Don't panic. Yeah, just now we uploaded the photo. Now where is the photo? We didn't got any photo. See, whenever we push the data into real-time database, it will immediately reflect in the database without refreshing. But when coming to the storage service, we have to refresh every time to get the data. See, now we will get the folder called My Photos here, and you can also see the with what name we are with what name we are going to store. We are storing this image into this storage service. We are also going to see that also, the name of the file and name of what is the type of that file. See, we just got it My Photos folder, as I say here. See, I already say here that if the My Photos is not, if My Photos folder is not in the, if not it is not there in the database reference, it will automatically create a folder called My Photos. In the same way, it will create a folder with the name My Photos. Click on that. See, this is the image. This is the Friday. See, Friday, August 21, 13:59, 02 seconds. At this time, we just uploaded the image. See, this is the name of the file and this is the type of the file. Where in which statement we are saying the Java to store the file name as like this. In this statement we are saying the Java that store the file name. See, in this statement, see, the first one is date and the dot and the file type. What is the day giving here? The date and the time and the GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. So this is how we are going to push the photos in the Firebase storage service. In the same way, you can also store the videos. So you have to do some research to store the videos. It is same like photos. There is no much difference in that. Yeah, now we just finished our app. See, I am pushing again. I just push some other photo, like this one. Let's upload this one. See, we have to refresh. We have to refresh every time. The image is uploaded successfully. Now just refresh the storage service. Yeah, see, this is the image. At which time? See, August 21. See here my date, August 21. At which time? At 2 o'clock 2 minutes and 2 seconds. See here I have 2 o'clock 2 minutes, seconds is at 6 seconds. I just uploaded a photo. So you can also view this photo. Click on this photo and you will get the corresponding link. Click on this link. You will navigate to this photo. You will navigate. See, you just navigated. You can also save this photo in your laptops. see save image option you have. So this is the way we are successful with this app. In the next video, if it is possible, I will also explain you how to retrieve these images. Okay, if possible. I don't know whether it is possible or not. If possible, I will explain you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.